Hey guys, it's Christian, your Vancouver Realtor, and the topic for today's video is the truth about realtor marketing. Okay, so I wanted to make this video because I think the public really isn't aware of how marketing in real estate really works. And so when you're hiring a real estate agent, your realtor wears several hats. He's your chief negotiator, he's your chief advisor, and guess what? He's also your chief marketing officer too. And it's very important that you understand what works and what doesn't, because you're paying for it all, so you might as well be paying for what works. And I think that's something that is maybe lost on the general public. So in this video, we're going to kind of dive a little deeper into this and explore what really does work. Okay, and if you have comments or questions about that, leave it below. Give us a thumbs up or a like. We love having you. Join the family. But the crucial thing to know about real estate services or realtor marketing programs is you want something that produces a result. A result is that sells your house for the most amount of money in the shortest possible time. I mean, that's the whole ball game right there. And if it doesn't achieve those goals, then you have to be asking the question, why are we doing that, right? I once heard someone put it another way. They said, if you're, God forbid you had to go in for surgery, you probably would ask you wouldn't ask your doctor, what are you going to do first? What are you going to do second? You would say, how many of these surgeries have you done? And what are my chances of making it? And that's what you want to ask when you're selling your house. Will this work? Okay. Now, so let's move along. When you bring a realtor into your home, normally what will happen is they're going to open up their brochure, their packages, and they're going to talk to you a little bit about their marketing services. Maybe at the beginning of the conversation, maybe towards the end, but they'll try and razzle and dazzle you with their 18-point marketing program. They're going to mail out 1,000 flyers to your neighbors and people in your building. They're going to put ads in the newspaper, Facebook ads, and it all sounds really great. But again, does that all work? And I'm going to tell you that it doesn't all work. See, the second point about this type of marketing is it's really meant to promote the realtor. And that's just the truth of it. I tell my clients that, look, I can mail out 1,000 flyers to your neighbors and 10 blocks from here to the next school. But if that doesn't really produce the result that you want, which is selling your house for the most amount of money, then why are we doing that? And it doesn't really work. In fact, print advertising, mailers generally have about a 1% success rate. I would say about 1,000 homes that are sold, every 1,000, maybe one is bought by a buyer who got a flyer in the mail, if that, or saw an ad in the newspaper. And you know what? When it comes to Facebook advertising, it's pretty much the same. I've tried it. I've experimented with it. I've probably spent about $500 to $1,000 on it. And I'm not an expert in it, but I've dabbled with it a little bit, and I would say that the return on investment there is very minimal. So any marketing programs espousing the benefits of Facebook marketing, I don't really think it's going to get you the result that you want, which is your house sold. What these things do is they promote the realtor, right? That's why the realtor's face is on these programs. And, I'm pretty upfront and tell my clients this. And, sometimes they stroke the realtor's ego. They might like that because they're out, in 1,000 mailboxes. But again, it just doesn't produce the result that you want. And so then why are you paying for it? That's the crucial question. So if that doesn't work, what does? What does produce the result 95% of the time? Let's focus on that now for the rest of this video. And in my own research, what I found is, and I'm going to pull this up and hopefully we get it on the screen here, of where do buyers actually find the homes they buy. Now, that's a great question, and once we have the answers to that, that's really where we want to focus our marketing efforts and your marketing dollars. Here's what the survey found. 51% of buyers found their home online. 28% found it through their agent, through their realtor. 7% through an open house or a yard sign. And I wish they had separated that out because those are really two different things. My guess is that a majority of those people actually found it through an open house, which they probably saw online, and then they went there and fell in love with the home. That's what that is. 6% through a friend or a family member. And I think that's more, probably more for the very American. I don't think as many Canadians are finding their home through a friend or a family member, and certainly not in a city like Vancouver, which is very transient. I mean, you have people moving in and moving out all the time, so that's not going to be the case here. 5% found it through the home builder or their agent. So what that is a pre-sale. They walked into the pre-sale center unrepresented and then, fell in love with that pre-sale project and bought the home. And 3% knew the sellers personally. And I'll explain that in a moment. But what I want to do is do a bit of a deeper dive now into each of those. Again, this is where we want to focus our marketing efforts and your marketing dollars. And by the way, when I say marketing dollars, when you're paying your real estate agent commission, part of my commission is going into this marketing, okay? And so let's go into what it is. So the first one we saw was internet. Internet means online. And here in Canada, really that is rew.ca. It's a pretty good platform. I find most buyers are on there, or realtor.ca. So what this tells us is first impressions really count. The way your home shows up on their desktop or when they're scrolling on their phone, that is crucial. So you want to have professional photography. So that's exactly what I would do. For every single one of my listings, I'm going to have a professional photographer, real estate photographer, come in, take photographs. And obviously they've got, virtual tours, wide angle lenses that just capture the home in the best possible light. And that's really what you want, because again, that's how buyers are seeing your home for the very first time, okay? And most of those buyers are going to be very savvy. They're working with an agent, and they'll contact me. My clients will contact me, hey Christian, I just saw this one online. And you will talk a little bit about it, maybe on the phone or through email. And then what I'll do is I have a checklist of questions, and I'll call the seller's agent, and I will be asking, when is the home still available? When is the next available time to show it? Is there anything coming up like special levies, roof projects that we need to know about? Do they allow pets, etc., etc.? That's when you're doing your bit of your investigative journalist work when you're on the buyer's side. Okay, back to the seller's side. And so the impression that your home is making online is crucial. And so what we're going to do is we're going to have professional photographers come in, and I think most really good realtors are going to do this. The second thing is staging could be an option if the home is vacant. It always tends to look a lot better. The ladies especially really fall in love with staging, and they can see themselves, how they might enjoy the living room, entertain guests. And of course, simple things might be cosmetic improvements, like just a fresh paint job. So that very first impression you make online is crucial. All right, the second one here, finding a home through their real estate agent. So this is about a third of buyers. I think really smart buyers, savvy buyers that value a relationship, they already have one with a real estate agent. And so their agent will help them with this. So what does this look like? I'll give you an example. Very recently, I helped a couple. They were from down south and from North Carolina, moving to Vancouver. They're in the tech industry, and they were looking for a home. Something in a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom, downtown Olympic Village. Well, I found something that was in a higher price point, a little bit higher price point than they were looking for. So just looking outside the box. But what I realized was we would be able to negotiate that listing down by maybe $80,000, $90,000. So what I did is I introduced that home to them, and we went to see it. They fell in love with it. We were able to get $70,000 off the listing price, and we got the home. But that's just, as an agent, sometimes I know whether or not a future listing might come down in price. So that's one way having an agent can really help on the buying side. And then there's just things like, with like myself, for example, I've been in 300-400 buildings just in the Vancouver area alone, not even the surrounding suburbs. So I tend to know the buildings, be very familiar. I may even know specific floor plans that have a den with a window facing a water view. And so when you're working with a really good agent, they know these kinds of things. They can introduce these to you as the buyer. If I'm the seller's agent, they're going to call me, and I'll be able to talk to this agent. I'll know whether or not they're professional, full-time, have they qualified their clients, and do they even know what they're doing? You'd be surprised how many rookie realtors there are out there that need a lot of instruction. So that's 1/3 of buyers are finding homes through their agent. Now, 7%, according to this study, by the way, I should say NAR is where this study comes from. That's the National Association of Realtors in the United States. It's just like the Association of Realtors here in Canada. And I think because Canada and the United States are pretty similar in our culture, language, and business practices, most of this applies to us here as well. Okay, open houses. This is a big one. I'm surprised this number isn't higher. I know a lot of realtors in the industry don't really like open houses, but myself personally, I love them. I think they're a great way to advertise your home. Look, selling your house, buyers got to come inside. They got to walk through it, experience it, feel it, touch it, smell it, and that's why you need open houses. And if you don't have open houses, you need something to complement that, like private viewings. Very, very impactful, right? It's just like test driving a Tesla. You fall in love with it, you might fall in love with the house too, once you've been inside. So we need to have some kind of an open house program or private viewing program available for the buyers calling in. And I find it's a great opportunity because you can get eyeball to eyeball with the agents and with the buyers coming through your home. You can qualify them literally on the spot. You know if you're dealing with real players or if someone is just kind of kicking the tires on the home. And obviously I would then share that with my sellers. Okay, a few more. In the US, they're finding about 6% find homes through their friend, relative, or neighbor. I think that's probably more American. I think in Canada, the numbers are a lot less, especially in the Vancouver area, because it is so transient. Home builder or their agent. This is just folks walking again into a pre-sale center, unrepresented. Maybe they're just starting out, kicking the tires. Probably a good idea if you're buying a home for the very first time. It's your largest investment of your life. It's also going to be your most valuable asset. It could be your forever home. You probably want to get some guidance on whether or not you're making a mistake or not, or the right decision. So it's a good idea to do that with an agent. They'll be able to hold your hand through that process. But this does have nothing to do, obviously, if you're selling your home, because you will not be, this is for a pre-sale, not for a resale, okay? And last, directly from the sellers, this is basically where dad is like selling his condo to his daughter or his son. And then they take over ownership, they get a mortgage for the home. A lot of parents here in Canada will do that, so that way the kids learn some responsibility. And of course, not much you can do there. So just to review, and I want to review that second point, I think I missed some points that I want you to take away. First, impressions online are a huge thing. Second, and back to that, when it comes to first impressions, also just making, when it comes to staging as well, there's things I can, or your realtor, what they would do is walk you through how you can stage it, maybe even the different staging providers that can really make your home show great. For the second point, it's very important who answers your phone. What kind of stories can they tell about your listing? What kind of stories can they tell about the neighborhood? These are crucial. Qualifying the realtors, qualifying the buyers. So this is going to be very important, right? Realtor to realtor contact. The third thing is those open houses and private viewings. That is really where you want to focus your marketing efforts. 95% of the time, those are the things that will sell your house. They're going to sell your house for the most amount of money and the fastest possible time. Newspaper ads, mailers, Facebook ads, those things are great, but the truth is they're really not going to deliver the results that you're looking for. So I hope you found this helpful. Hopefully kind of opened up the hood here so you could look underneath and get a sense of what really works in realtor marketing. If you got comments, questions, leave them below, or like or subscribe to us. We love having you as part of the family, and we'll see you next time.